What's up, everybody? You're very welcome along Sunday night's late night agenda. I'm feeling refreshed and revitalised after taking 24 hours off. Although, look, in the world of football, there isn't really 24 hours off, is there? Because when you finish one thing, something else happens. Content needs to be made. How are we, ladies and gentlemen? There is so much for us to get through tonight. I hope that you're all well. Thank you very much for coming and joining me. And yeah, let's have a bit of fun tonight. Again, it is your show, ladies and gentlemen. You let me know the topics that you want to talk about. So yeah, get it stuck in the chat and we'll get going. Obviously, centre-back's going to be a major one. The build-up to the United game coming up. Anfield Agenda launches on Spotify this week as well with our brand new Anfield Agenda podcast. So keep an eye out for that one. If you're on Spotify, make sure to get over there and give us a follow as well. Right, how are we, everybody? I see the chat starting to fill up now. I hope you guys enjoyed the Nothing But Reds agenda earlier on today with Kyle and Steve. Great to see so many of you in the chat showing the guys some love. You know, we are a global fan base, so we like to include that in the content that we're putting out as well. So massive thank you as always to Kyle and Steve. Looks like we're going alright in this stream here, Crosby. It looks like it's not going zippity-doo-dah like we were the other day in the Watchalong. Kieran Shields, thoughts on the United game coming up, mate? Oh, trust me, you're gonna have a whole week of me rabbiting on about this. It's massive. There's no two ways about it, mate. It's absolutely massive. And nothing but a win will do. I don't even a draw to me will just feel like a defeat if we don't go and get this win. Oh look, there it is, going jittery again. No lag. I'm starting to see a bit of lag, Connor. Hello, how are we? Celtic or Rangers couldn't give a shite, mate. Couldn't give a shite, either or. Don't care. Not really someone who watches Scottish football. Did we all watch Marine earlier on against Spurs, by the way? Fair play. Look, Spurs were now handy winners, but look, fair play to everyone that bought those virtual tickets as well. I think Marine have made like over 300 grand from virtual tickets, I believe, which is absolutely amazing. So well played to Spurs, well played to the world of football for getting behind them. Hello, NGR. Hello, Steve Baxter. How are you, mate? Welcome into the chat. Jewski as well. Dara's in the chat. David Jones, Kieran Shield, Michael Lynch, Ian Creel, and lots of others as well. Look, what do you want to talk about tonight? Let's get stuck into it, ladies and gentlemen. Transfers. I'm on the point that it's not looking like we're going to sign a centre-back. It really isn't, by the way, and I have been sticking my nose into a lot of places, trying to read up as much as I can, trying to touch base with as many journalists as I can, and I keep getting the same reply. The plans are no centre-back as things currently stand. So then what do we do? The option to me is attack. That's what I'd like to see us do. Would do if we could get Ramos. Look, let's be realistic about it. Nobody wants Ramos at Liverpool Football Club. His wages would be through the roof. He's past his best. And there's so many other reasons that I could continue to go on about it. But yeah, nah. Any updates on Genie's contract situation? No, Norman. Still at stalemate as things stand. The offer's on the table from Liverpool. It's up to Genie Wijnaldum if he wants to accept it or not. I don't know. Like all of you, I'm hoping beyond hope that he signs it. But if he doesn't, then again, like anything else, the club will continue and move on. Carl thinks it's no centre-back, no title. That simple. I'm not quite that pessimistic, but I do understand why people would be thinking along those lines, Carl. To me, it's no centre-back. Look at it playing in a different way. That's the way I'm looking at this, mate. I'm thinking if we can't bring in a centre-back, then we're going to have to up those energy levels. We're going to have to press like hell, and we're going to have to get back to playing that rock and roll style, will outscore the opposition football that we had when Klopp first came in, that heavy metal gegenpress and old school Klopp. That's honestly where my head's at. It might be at a point now where we're going to have to start creating more and rely on the front three, the front four, whichever way you want to look at it, to get us to back-to-back league titles. That's where my head's at right now, if I'm being honest. I think it's going to be a point that we're going to have to just go and outscore the opposition. Sounds simple, I know, but that's honestly where I'm at. Who's your ideal centre-back for Liverpool? Ben White. Ben White. It's always been Ben White for me. I've never been a huge fan of Upamecano, although I can absolutely understand the appeal of Dayot Upamecano. I just think, sometimes you just get a vibe off a player. Like Julian Brandt, for example. I never got the even though we were linked with him for ages, I never got the vibe that Julian Brandt would end up at Liverpool. He hasn't. He's moved on, and by the way, he's been linked to Arsenal recently enough as well. I get that vibe from Upamecano. I've always kind of got the vibe that he's destined to end up at Bayern Munich as a David Alaba replacement. That's, to me, the way this has looked for a while. United have been interested as well. All clubs know, though, that why go in January and pay a premium for a centre-back like Upamecano when you know what the price is in the summer? He's got that 40 million release clause. I'm good, thank you, Weenie Boy. I hope you are as well. We should sign VAR sorted. When is VVD returning? Said Farhat. Probably... I'm going to guess March time, mate, but it is completely that. It is a guess. Like all these things, it's a fluid situation. He will get back. He'll up his intensity in training bit by bit by bit. And at all these stages of his return to normality or return to first team football, there could be little hiccups along the way, a little muscle strain here. Maybe he feels a little twinge there. And it's always best to err on the side of caution when you're looking at these things, because look, we have Virgil van Dijk for the next X amount of years. No need to rush him back. We want the best Virgil van Dijk back. We want longevity. Philip Hunt, how are you, mate? Said just watched an old, I can't say the video, but just watched an old video when you debated Mikola over which Champions League final was better. Mikola was kind of rude. Hope United lose. Thank you for the super chat, Philip, by the way. That was my first time ever meeting the guy. I don't know if I would say rude. I got an air of arrogance. And look, that's okay. I mean, some people are arrogant. Maybe some people think I'm arrogant. Look, they were both great Champions League finals, and look, I can understand both sides of that debate. You're a United fan, 99, absolutely fantastic. You're a Liverpool fan, 2005, coming back from 3-0 down. I still stand over what I said. With that Milan side, with the comeback that we had, with the players that we had on the pitch, I still think that was the better final. But look, again, each to their own. We okay early, treble coming soon, said Robert. There we go. Shoot outside the box more, said Marvin Julian. Why can't I say it? Well, you know who our sponsor is here, mate, in the bottom right hand corner, Boyle Sports. And again, shout out to our sponsors, Boyle Sports. As always, if you're going to have a little flutter, folks, make sure you do so responsibly. There's a link to sign up to Boyle Sports in the description of the stream. If you do so, you place your first tenner bet, you will receive a free bet from Boyle Sports. Open to UK and Irish residents age 18 plus, and always please gamble responsibly. That's why, mate. I hope that gave you the answer you were looking for. Love from Italy, Massimiliano. Oh, I got it right. Wow, Massimiliano, how are you, sir? Love to you as well. Hope to see this channel grow. Thank you, sir. You're a true gent. How long is Gomez out for? Now that energy, I honestly can't tell you, mate. I don't know yet. That's the honest answer. I would imagine probably shorter than Van Dijk, but again, I'm not putting a timescale on it, mate, because I just don't know. What we do know is that there is a chance that Joe Matip could be fit, could be in contention for the game against United next Sunday, which of course we will be covering on the channel. I'm surprised football is still going, said Carl. I won't lie, mate, I've had my doubts this week about if we'll be able to continue on without a break. And look, I'm not qualified to give an assessment of that, but I understand everyone that does feel that we could be in for another short shutdown of football at some point. I hope not. I hope we can keep top tier sport going just to keep us all entertained and give us that much needed distraction as well. Michaela from South Africa, how are you? As always, Prometheus, lovely to have you in. What else we got? If anybody wants to check, by the way, and look, let me just do a quick plug for this one. We are now on Spotify. The Anfield Agenda podcast launches this week. Myself, Steve Bland and Jack Gill are going to be the trio that will be joining you every single week. We're going to be talking about all the current LFC topics. I'm going to be opening with my usual off-the-wall question as well. And I have to say, folks, I'm delighted to be back podcasting. So, Anfield Agenda podcast, first one coming out this week. But there are a couple of things already up there. If you want to give us a follow on Spotify and check it out, search Anfield Agenda and you should see us. We've come up fairly handy when I've done the search anyway. Do I play FIFA? I don't, mate. No, don't play computer games at all. Arnaz, how are you, sir? Lovely to see you in. I hope you're well. Craig, what about Bowman and Schur? Bowman, I'm going to be honest with you. Are we talking about the same guy here? We're talking about Botman, Sven Botman. That's the guy we're talking about. From James Pearce's and people like that, mate, there seems to be that Liverpool have no genuine interest in Sven Botman and never had the Lille centre-back. It seems to be from James Pearce again coming out to say that maybe his side, his agency, the club trying to round up some interest in Botman. And Per Schur's, that's one that I'm intrigued about, and I think that could be one for the summer. Obviously, we know €25 million buys him from Ajax right now. Ajax got knocked out of the Champions League into the Europa League, so loss in earnings for them for the season as well. So I think they would be open to that sale. But again, from everything, and I mean at this point everything from any journalist that I would put belief in, all I'm hearing or all I'm reading is no deal this month, no centre back coming in unless something dramatic changes. I know I don't want to come on here saying this. I want to be on here putting up headlines where we can go on and we can talk about Botman, we can talk about Upamecano, we can talk about Kanate, but honestly folks, as it's looking, we're going to have to make do. And I know that pisses people off. I know, like people, Carl earlier on said no centre back, no title. To me, I just think we're going to have to look at it in a different way now and try and... it's weird because if you look at our defensive record since the guys have gone down, since particularly Matip as well, we're not overly conceding, but what we're not doing is creating enough or taking those opportunities. So I understand where everybody's coming from. I mean, Sepp van den Berg looks like he's going to be going out on loan, by the way, to either a club in the Bundesliga 2 or somewhere in Europe, maybe Holland or Belgium, somewhere else. So keep an eye out for that one. He might go out on loan for the rest of the season to gain experience. But when you think about a defensive situation, it's more a lack of creativity going forward. For me, that's the problem, more than what we're conceding. Now, I think the other day Reece Williams was a little bit exposed in the FA Cup game. He was shown still that he's a developing centre-back, and it was worrying how easily that young lad got in. And again, for that young lad, Barry, what a moment for him. Great goal. He took it magnificently, but it did show us that there's still a lot to learn there for Reece Williams. So, you know, I don't want to see Hendo back at centre-back. It just left us leading so much more in the middle. But I'm intrigued to see what we'll do midfield-wise going up against United. I've been thinking this through all week. My answer would ideally be Thiago, Hendo and Shaqiri ahead of them. That's what I'd like to see. Or Thiago, Hendo and Bobby ahead of them. And I'd like to see Mohamed Salah play through the centre for the game against United. Maybe Shaqiri right hand side, Sadio Mane left side, Salah through the centre, and and Bobby Firmino to play in that attacking midfield role. I want us to mix it up. I want us to do something different, because people are going to have a go at me now and tell me Mohamed Salah has to stop scoring and I didn't have a go at Mane. I have. I've been critical of all three of the front three at points this season, and I've no agenda against any three of them. I love the three guys implicitly, absolutely love our front three, but I just think we're being a little bit too obvious in the way we play. Now, to me, when Thiago and Shaqiri came on in the FA Cup against Villa, even though it was the youngsters, immediately I seen us create more. I seen players shown between the lines for the ball, looking like we could actually get in behind a defence that's sitting back, albeit a young and experienced defence. So to me, I think Shaqiri's earned the start. Now, I understand wholeheartedly that people don't want to drop Salah, and I get that. So my thought would be play him through the centre or swap him and Mane around, just to give United something to think about. Because I'm thinking, let's say Luke Shaw up against Mohamed Salah, left back for United, or Alex Telles, and then you've got Mohamed Salah on that side, and then on the other side you've got one of the best, if not the best, one-on-one defensive right backs in the league in Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and then you've got Sadio Mane up against him on the left. Let's switch that over for a little bit. Let's see, because I think we could get more change down the right hand side with Sadio Mane having a pop, and let's see how Salah gets on with a good one-on-one defender in Aaron Wan-Bissaka, or play Salah through the centre. I just want us to mix it up a bit. I think that's my way I'd like to see us get out of this little funk, is just change things up and don't play the same patterns that people are expecting. Thiago, Hendo and Gini midfield, said Steve Baxter. Then we're back to exactly the same problem that we're always going to have. Where does the creativity come from? Do we push Thiago a little bit further forward, or is he going to sit back in the six and play a reduce the quarterback style role? Because to me the big problem is that linking the front three and midfield. Often at times we've seen Bobby Firmino, when he's playing through the centre, coming really deep to pick up the ball, and Sadio Mane coming deep to pick up the ball, and even Salah at times in that right hand side coming deep to pick up the ball. And that just leaves us even less players to get forward. It leaves us with 2-on-4, 2-on-5 at times as well. I just want to see us take a few more chances going forward. What else we got? Do you think we should cash in on Salah and Gini and Mbappe? Look, that's a conversation rolling for a whole another time, mate. I mean, at this moment in time, I think it's just about getting the away form right, making sure that we're ready to go for the United game, and working one game at a time, mate. And I know that sounds boring, but I think it honestly is where we're at this moment in time. Would I start Shaqiri against United? Yes, I would. And look, You guys, not regular viewers of the channel, know I've been one of Shaqiri's biggest critics. I've said for a long time that I don't see where he fits in, but in his brief cameos this season, when he's been fit and looking like he has a point to prove, I think he can really offer us something. Now, if Naby Keita was fit, I'd be saying start Naby in that attacking midfield position. But since he's not going to be fit by the looks of it, then to me, it has to be Shaqiri. That's me. Hendo, Thiago, Shaqiri, or Hendo, Thiago, Bobby, with Shaqiri playing on the right hand side and Salah through the centre. That's what I'd like to see. What have we got? So Craig, we need creativity, someone that can thread needle passes if they were... Yes, that's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. That's why I think having either Bobby dropping back, which he's naturally doing to link up play anyway, and playing Mo through the centre, or maybe Shaqiri on the right, I think that will give us that link-up play, because we'll have somebody that Thiago can pick between the lines, and there won't be many better at it than Bobby Firmino, to be fair. And Shaqiri looked so lively in that little cameo. I think it's time for us to sell Keita and buy somebody else. Definitely one way of looking at it, mate, and I understand it. But again, you'd probably take a massive hit at this point if you were to sell him. I think definitely the summer is the time to, and I'm not at all saying we should sell him, but I think the summer is the time to reevaluate that scenario. I swear people always wait till I'm live before they message me. Craig, I think United and Liverpool are very even teams at this moment, said Luke Maha 2010. At this moment, yes, I think you're right, mate, but I think we still have gears to go through at Liverpool. I think we can certainly get better as the season goes on. Saeed said United will win the match. We'll find out next Sunday, my friend. We'll find out next Sunday at about 6:30 next Sunday. We should know, maybe even 6:20 next Sunday. We should know the result of that game. And if United do beat us, they'll be the first team in 68 games then to beat us at home at Anfield in the league. So there's a lot of pressure on us to keep that home record going. A lot of pressure on United to prove that they are ready for this title race. They will have played twice, by the way, in the space of the time that we finished our FA Cup game to that game. Obviously, United played against Watford in the FA Cup, beat them 1-0. Now they've got a game coming up against Burnley, which we will be doing a watch-along of, by the way, on Mundo Sporto or other channels. So make sure to go over and subscribe to that. And we've got loads of shows as well coming up on Mundo Sporto this week. Tomorrow night, myself, Lee Chappie and Joe from All Leeds TV are going to be doing the first Premier League show over in Mundo Sporto. So, make sure to check that one out. We'll be live in and around 9 o'clock tomorrow night over there. Who would I sign if I were Klopp? I mean, look, it's easy for me to sit here and play fantasy football and say go out there and sign X, Y and Z. But at the end of the day, it's about finances. It's about timing. It's about... other clubs, maybe the players that we want to buy from them. I wouldn't sign Kabak, put it that way. I would rather hang off. I'm definitely in the camp that believes we need a centre back, but I'm also in the camp that believes I don't want to settle. I want Klopp to get who he wants, because all strategy, all thinking should be long-term thinking for the club. As much as we're frustrated as fans right now with the way we're playing, it's not a 6-month issue. We can't just go out and buy somebody for 6 months and then we bring back Joe Gomez, Joel Matip, Virgil van Dijk. We bring in another centre-back, and then, we've got still Sepp van den Berg, Billy Comedio, Reece Williams, lots of other youngsters coming through as well. Everything that could go wrong. It was a perfect storm of bad luck for Liverpool, if we're being honest, though. Let's go back to the summer. I'm going to be the first one to put my hands up in the air and say that I thought that taking that gamble of not replacing Dejan Lovren in the summer to allow us to go out and buy Thiago, to allow us to go out there and get Diogo Jota, I have to say, ladies and gentlemen, I thought it was the right choice. I can understand why Kloppo rolled the dice. Now, who on earth would have thought that we would have lost Virgil van Dijk for the season? We would have lost Joe Gomez for the season. That, Matip would have had a load of injuries. Well, maybe that's a bit more predictable. Fabinho would have to drop back there and play centre-back, and at times you'd have to use Nat Phillips and Reece Williams. Look, none of us could have predicted that. I know people will come back at me and say, look, Craig, that's the manager's job to predict. You have to plan for worst case scenario. But we're also in the midst of a global pandemic when football financially is on its knees. So I understood it. It's come back massively to bite us in the arse, but I think we're just going to have to figure a way through it. What have we got? Amen, Craig. We don't want to block the path of the young kids developing the first team players. That certainly has to be part of the thinking. It's so tough. It is so tough right now. Because let's say we do go out there and we sign a centre-back, right? Let's say we go sign Perishers tomorrow. There's no guarantee that he's going to come in and be ready. Because how often have we seen players come to the Premier League, particularly under Jurgen Klopp, and Klopp will take weeks, if not months, before he feels that they're up to pace to our system, to the league, to the training methods, to the rigours of Premier League and English football. Often we don't just throw players in anyway, so it's such a hard call. I'm starting to accept that we're not going to sign a centre-back, if I'm being honest. I'm starting to come to peace with that one, and if anything happens, it'll be a bonus, but I still think we can win this title, but we're going to have to start being more creative than the other end. We're going to have to start putting more chances away. And I think we will, you know. I think just a spark, just one little spark, and this season will come into life for the Reds. We're absolutely not going to sign Sergio Ramos. Anybody who tells you that Liverpool are interested in signing Sergio Ramos are talking out their hoop. It's just not going to happen. Great show, thank you very much, mate. Appreciate that. We need a top class centre back that can challenge for first place. Matip is too injury prone. I absolutely agree with that. I mean, none of us have any doubts that when Matip plays, he'll do a job, but centre back is a position where you really do need a partnership. So, you know, you'd have, let's say, Van Dijk and Gomez, or Van Dijk and Fabinho, but you want those to play 30 of the league games. You want them to play 30 at least of those 38 league games as a partnership and be a bit more robust. Now, unfortunately for us, Joe Matip hasn't been able to put enough consistent run of games together. So I understand, again, people calling for us to perhaps sell him, but again, I've no idea what wages he's on after signing that new improved contract, and I've no idea what Liverpool would look for if they were to sell him on. And it's easy for me and you and everybody else to sit here and play, you know, fantasy football, but if we're moving players on, and you can bet that Joe Matip got a, you know, when he re-signed his deal, that he probably got a nice pay hike. He's going to want that from another club if he goes there, or else Liverpool are going to have to pay him off the contract and the difference. So it's not going to be easy, but I think we can do this. I mean, I've seen a lot of people using Minamino as a scapegoat as well lately, which I think is wrong. I think that the guy, look, he's not up to speed yet. No argument there whatsoever, but how can we write somebody off that hasn't really had a consistent run of 5 or 6 games in a row? That just seems wrong to me. Now, that's not to say that, you know, maybe he won't make it. Maybe the manager sees something we don't, and he's talking him up maybe to try and flog him. I don't know. I believe the manager still does believe in Takumi from reading between the lines and reading what he's saying. But I know the Liverpool fan base, a lot of the ones that I'm seeing are saying, writing him off already. And I don't like that. I really don't like writing a player off 1 year into a move to Liverpool when he hasn't had a chance, like a real chance. Josh said, Fabrizio Romano said that Liverpool are planning something interesting in the summer. Do you think this could mean a big signing? 100% yes. Again, like I've said to you, the feeling has been that nothing is really going to happen in this window for Liverpool with regards to incomings, but there is a lot of talk about this big signing in the summer. Who it is yet, that remains to be seen. We know Kylian Mbappe's situation at PSG. He's got a new manager in there, Mauricio Pochettino. They're negotiating with him to try and get him to sign a new deal. He's got 1 year left at the end of this year on his current PSG deal, and they won't want that to run down. So it's either going to be him signing a new deal or somebody coming in to get him. And will that somebody be Liverpool? Will it be Real Madrid? Who knows? Will it be PSG? Or not PSG, it'll be Juventus? I don't know. Time will tell. The Haaland one, I honestly don't see Haaland moving this summer. I think it's going to be 2022 for him. And I think that's the right move for Haaland as well, because he's playing at a very good club that's always going to be in the Champions League, that's playing good football with other good young players around him, that he's going to get the opportunity to play week in and week out and continue scoring goals. And he's got another 10, 12 years left in his career. So I understand the people who are looking after him want him to stay until that clause kicks in his contract, and I believe that clause of €75 million kicks in the summer of 2022. So again, if I'm representing him, I'm telling him stay put at Dortmund. It's the best place right now for his development. Imagine Mbappe running Phillips in the Champions League semi-final. I know, it would be class, but you know, we still have Harvey Elliott as well, who's doing quite well on loan at Blackburn. He'll be coming back next season. And look, there will be a bumper signing in the summer from all I suppose all hints point to yes on that one, but you know who it will be. I'd be absolutely sitting here lying to you if I told you I knew we were signing Mbappe or I knew we were signing Haaland. I'm going to try and find out, but as of right now, you know, it is what it is. And again, people are going to be coming back and saying, look, this is just more FSG bullshit to just get us through this window, you know, to keep us placid, to say, oh, we know we're going big next summer, and then maybe an excuse will be found as to why we don't go big next summer. Again, I don't know what the answer is to that either. I'm willing to give the owners the benefit of the doubt because I think the owners have done a lot of good for us. Any news on Jota? Still 2 or 3 weeks away, mate, unfortunately. Wouldn't be looking at him for the United game or anything like that. For Jota, I'm thinking maybe the Champions League. When the Champions League comes back around that time, perhaps. Maybe a little bit earlier, but again, we'll have to wait and see. Sell Origi, please, to raise money for a centre-back, said Carl. Again, he's going to be in the shop window this month. He wants to make the Belgium squad for the Euros next summer. He knows he'd have very limited playing time at Liverpool. And if the right move is there, I don't think the club will stand in his way. I think ideally the club would like to sell him on, but will they consider a loan with an obligation to buy? Again, I'm not sure. I've got some big interviews coming up over the next few weeks or so I will be able to get you guys a bit more information moving forward. I'm going to be interviewing Graham Hunter at some point. I'm going to be interviewing, who else have we got coming up in the next few weeks? Jack Mate later on. Not that he'll be able to fill us in on transfers. I just like saying that I'm going to be having a chat with Jack Mate towards the end of the month. Darren McAnthony, the Peterborough United chairman. Ian Brewster, Rian's dad, he's going to be starting with us this Thursday. You're going to see him on a show every couple of weeks as well, so it'll be really good. Ian Brewster is a massive Liverpool fan as well, so he's part of the Anfield Agenda family now. He's going to be doing a show once every 2 weeks. You're going to see a little bit more of Leon as well from Boyle Sports, although he is of course working with Boyle Sports. More than anything, Leon's a massive Liverpool fan, so you'll probably see a show with myself, Leon and Ian Brewster, and then the podcast launches this Tuesday as well. We're going to be recording the first one, myself, Steve Bland and Jack Gill, so I'm really looking forward to that. Genie's contract is what it is. I've seen a viewpoint, I think it was Darren Bent put this and I think it's in the Echo if anybody wants to have a read of it, but Darren Bent, and again if I'm attributing these quotes to the wrong person, I apologise, but I think it was Darren Bent, came out and said that he doesn't think Gini Wijnaldum should be in the really high bracket of earners at Liverpool Football Club. He said yes, he's done very well at Liverpool, and yes, he's an important part of the team, but he doesn't believe he should be anywhere near the money that Mohamed Salah, Firmino, Mane, Van Dijk, Alisson, that those players would be on. And it really got me thinking, you know, because I do understand both sides on this one. I understand that Gini wants to be looked at and compensated as a senior player at the club who has helped the club achieve what we've achieved. And I understand the club's point of view of, well, there's only so much money there and you're getting on in age and you want X amount of a contract, and I hope that he'll sign. And I don't know what the offer is. I don't know what the offer on the table is right now, but I would imagine it would have to be somewhere from 130 grand upwards. I think he's on about 80 if my memory serves me right now, although I could be wrong on that one. And he does deserve a pay rise. I've absolutely no doubt in my mind about that. And if he's to sign on, he'll probably get a signing on bonus or a loyalty bonus as well, because, you know, he could go and sign on for anyone this month. Gini Wijnaldum can sign for any club outside of England on a pre-contract for the summer, and doesn't even have to tell Liverpool if he doesn't want to. Who do I think will get in the FA Cup? Honestly, haven't got a clue. I'm just completely guessing. Craig, is the conversation with Mark going to be on this channel? Yes, it is. We're going to be chatting with Mark Goldbridge on Thursday at 8:30 live here on Anfield Agenda. So, you know, fingers crossed, all going well. Obviously, both of our calendars are a little bit packed, so it could be moved slightly one way or the other. But yeah, the plan is that Mark will be coming on to have a chat around the United game on Thursday at 8:30. So again, make sure you've got your notifications turned on. Do I think we're seeing the best Liverpool team of the Premier League era? Oh, 100% Irish Gar. I mean, what we've achieved, even in the seasons that we haven't won the title under Klopp, year on year progression. I can't remember a better Liverpool squad or a better Liverpool style or a better Liverpool set of results than we've achieved with Klopp in recent years. So I'd have to say 100% yeah. I bet you used to be a United fan, you egg. Yeah, Tom, 11. Is that your IQ, Tom? 11. I'd say that probably does mark your IQ there, Tom, now. I absolutely didn't used to be a United fan, mate. But look, again, just like all the other little fools, mate, when your mammy tucks you into bed tonight and she moves your teddy bears and she puts the cover just the way you like it and she gives you a little pat on the head and she says, Tom, now listen, son, how was your day? She said, Mammy, look, I was brilliant. I went on this channel called Anfield Agenda and there's this Irish guy on there and he's bald, so immediately I'm thinking egg. So I called him an egg and told him he probably was a United fan. And then Mammy will give you a little pat on the head, a little kiss on the forehead and say, off to sleep now, Mammy, special little soldier. Shush, little baby, don't you cry. Mammy's going to sing you a lullaby. Just shut the fuck up, mate. Nobody cares what you have to say, honestly. Pathetic. Chorley will be an amazing match, said Rob. Yes, it would be fun, alright, to get Chorley. How can I become a member, said one go. Connor's already put a link into the chat there for you, buddy, and you can click on that, or you can go click the blue join button, or you can have a look in the description, buddy. It's $4.99 a month to become a member of Anfield Agenda FC, ladies and gentlemen. With that, you get the Anfield Agenda logo beside your name, you get into our Discord group, and you get use of all the cool custom emojis as well. Fourth round of the FA Cup, Chorley, LFC, Bayern, City, Chorley, Liverpool, Bayern. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, we'll probably get the tough Premier League fixture again, Rabadon. Yeah, and yeah, we do seem to get shitty draws, don't we? Lots of Premier League draws. Rumours in Germany, the Premier League going to be paused. Again, we touched on it earlier on in the stream, mate, and look, I couldn't rule it out. The way the world is right now, people's health and safety has to be paramount, and footballers are no different. It doesn't matter how much you earn, mate. You are who you are. Your life is your life. And we'll have to wait and see what happens. I hope that we can keep top tier sport going because it's keeping us all sane. It's keeping us all entertained. Do I think we'll bring in a centre back in January? No, Cameron. Unfortunately, mate, I don't. Again, I wish I could come on here, give you more positive news and say, yeah, there should be one coming in, but I don't think we will, mate. I don't think we're going to get one in over the line unless something drastic changes. Which Southampton player do you think we'll get next? Yeah, I don't know, mate, but you know what? They really impress me. I mean, the way Ralph Hasenhüttl has those... I'd take Danny Ings, by the way, if we could have him back in a heartbeat. Look, it's kind of bittersweet with the whole Danny Ings situation, isn't it? Because... it's great to see him back playing football. It's great to see him back doing what he does best, sticking the ball in the net, and it's great to see him being fit. But there's a lot of if onlys. You know, it's unfortunate. But for Danny Ings' point of view, delighted for the guy. He is one of the good men in football, and great to see him scoring goals. Unfortunately, one was against us, but again, nothing but love and respect for Danny Ings. Vestergaard is a good shout as well from Juski, very good player. I think Jose Mourinho and Spurs did a great piece of business in the summer bringing in Højbjerg from Southampton. I think that's really added to that Spurs midfield as well. Hey up Craig, Klopp needed to service the engine. I really believe we'll be back for United. I get worried when we've got long gaps between games. Seems to be the shorter the turnaround for us, the better the performance. The longer we have to think about it, the more slack we start off the games. Now I hope we come out of the traps 100 miles an hour against United, and I hope that we go heavy metal. I hope that we go full on gegenpress, and I hope that we just go balls out attacking. That's how I want to see us finish this season. Just go balls out attacking. Again, Destroyer iOS, I'm with you. There's no way right now that with fixture congestion, that there's any way to move more fixtures around. So I get you. It's almost impossible to look at the schedule and go, right, if the Premier League was delayed for 3 or 4 weeks, how could you fit them in, as you've rightly said, with the Euros next summer, the Olympics as well? It's almost impossible to do it, mate. So you're right. I get where you're coming from, and if there is a pause this time, there's a lot less wiggle room than we were able to have last year. Am I still on Hot Mic? No, mate, we've left Hot Mic. Well, it's quite a while ago, to be fair. What is there? Somebody bitching about not getting the comment read out. So you're not reading my comments. No, I don't read the comments of whiny little bitches, Patrick, mate, unfortunately. So maybe just Google YouTube channel for whiny little bitches and search that, and maybe you'll find a channel, mate, that will pander to your crying. But, 512 people, 525 people now in the chat, mate. And, super chats are open, buddy. I guarantee to read out your chat that way. If you can't afford a super chat, no problem. Stick it in and I'll try and get to a pal. But crying like a whiny little bitch and having me to ring you a ambulance, it's not the way. It's not a good look, pal. How come you're not on hot mic, or how come I left hot mic? Partly we didn't like the financial model anymore, if I'm being honest with you. And partly there was a few technical little bits and pieces, but it's mainly the financial model. It didn't suit us anymore. It changed, and it wasn't something that we thought was appealing enough to continue on the platform. Not gonna lie. Would I rather sign Haaland or Mbappe? Oh, it's so tough. Right, I'm gonna say Haaland, and here's why. Bear with me. We have young. Sorry, I'm tripping myself up here. I'm going to go with Haaland because we have a kid on loan at Blackburn who's Harvey Elliott. How did I not remember his name there for a second? And he's got to come back in, and I'm really expecting him to light it up. I really, really am expecting him over the next few years to be an absolute baller. So if you have him and you have Salah or you have Mane, you've got your wide positions covered there. So for me, a centre forward would be class. But look, I'm not going to complain, man, if we sign either of them. Either of them would be an absolutely unbelievable piece of business. I mean, let's be realistic about this. I've supported Liverpool 30-odd years now, 31 years. Sorry, for your man earlier on, when I gave up supporting United. And I don't remember us really signing superstars. Yeah, you can argue about Fernando Torres, he was on the verge of it. I think actually the biggest established signing I can remember us making is really Thiago. We usually buy players and turn them into superstars. It's very rare that we go out there and buy them. So I'm a little bit intrigued. I'm a little bit unsure of what to expect with regard to this potential big signing next summer. Big things coming from Harvey Elliott. I've got no doubt about that. And I'm still fuming that we let Ryan Brewster go. I've got to be honest, I am. I mean, I'll never understand the decision to keep Origi and let him go, other than maybe the point of view that we could get money, that we needed to buy somebody else, and that was the only reason. But I feel so bad for the kid as well at Sheffield United right now with the form they're in. He's not getting service. They're not playing a style of football that in any way suits him. And look, in an ideal world, I'd love to see Liverpool trigger that buyback clause and get him back. But as things stand, it's just not working out for him, and I really, really do feel for the kid because I have full belief in Ryan. Haaland all day, he scores effortlessly, said Oliver. Mbappe, said Naveen. Yari Littman was a superstar, Rob. I loved Littman. It's a shame the move came so late in his career to Liverpool, but I always enjoyed watching Yari Littman play football. Do I think Salah has had his head turned? Asked Mike Kennedy. No, I don't. I think Mo strikes me as the type of person who's able to remain entirely professional and will always give 100%. I don't think he's somebody that would down tools. He does not strike me as that type of person at all. I believe Mohamed Salah is a person of tremendous character. So no, I don't think he's had his head turned. Nor do I believe that he's sulking over the captain's armband thing that somebody else spoke about when Trent got the armband in that game. I just wonder if he's played too much football. And let's not forget, he's had COVID as well. And like Trent, it could take a while to get back to his brilliant best. I mean, he's looking absolutely ripped in the gym, by the way. But I just think it's okay for players to go through small little dips in form. And it's okay to suggest that they get a rest. Doesn't mean you don't love them. Some of the comments I've seen, people are trying to say that one of the reasons that people have said to rotate Salah is because we're basically racist and we don't like him because he's Muslim or because of his name. Genuinely, people wrote that. And I just think to those people, one, that's disgusting. Give your head a wobble. Two, he's called the king at this football club. Everybody calls him the Egyptian king. There was nothing but love and admiration for Mohamed Salah. So to those people, you're wrong. And it's important to remember as well, we are Liverpool fans. Liverpool fans. We're not one player fans. We're fans of the club. Players will come and go, but we're always going to be loyal to the badge. So I don't get this. There's too much bitterness and too much anger between certain sections of the fan base that are fans of a player and not the club. And I think that's a massive problem around this Salah situation, because Mohamed Salah is a global superstar. He represents the Egyptian national team, the Egyptian people magnificently. Absolute superstar. Carries himself well. Carries always a proud Muslim. And again, nothing but love. Like, he just gives out love into the world. So to have people moaning at everyone that has one bad word to say about him, it's just not true. It does my head in. You're allowed to be critical of a human being and still love them and still think that they're wonderful. We talk the truth. And if people don't like that, then maybe football is not the sport for you. I don't like this new modern thing of supporting a player and whatever club the player is at. To me, that's weird. You support that, you fucking watch football whichever way you want. But to try and ram beliefs down other people's throat and try and, find things that aren't there, I just think it's disgusting. Everybody loves Mo. Everybody. People need to know it's possible to think a player's out of form without hating them. It's not that deep. Yes, exactly. I've been critical of Klopp. I've been critical of Mane. I've been critical of Firmino. I've been critical of Van Dijk. I've been critical of Trent. I've been critical of... No, I've never been critical of Milner, to be fair. He's James Milner. But you get where I'm coming from. When somebody is out of form, they should be dropped no matter who they are. Again, that is my take completely, mate. You've often heard me say... it's your jersey to keep as a footballer. If you get your chance and you take it, you keep that shirt as far as I'm concerned. And it's up to the other guys to go and show in training that you need to be replaced. And right now I feel like that there are other options that could work. And one of those options that I'd like to see is just a simple switch of position. I'd like to see Mohamed Salah maybe through the centre or swapped around with Mane. I think we just need to shake it up a bit, if nothing else, to help him out. Because we all want the best from Mo. We all want Mohamed Salah scoring 50 goals a year. Of course we do. He's our boy. So what's the story behind the Alaba rumours? So there's talk that Liverpool have offered David Alaba a £9 million a year contract, which, what's that, roughly just shy of 200 grand a week, 180 grand a week, something like that, that would make him on par with our highest paid player at the club. I don't think David Alaba deserves to be the highest paid player at Liverpool Football Club. I don't think David Alaba is the stature of player that should be able to walk into our dressing room and immediately become the highest paid player alongside people who have deserved that pay. I'm not doubting his quality, by the way. He can play at left back, centre back, midfield. Very good footballer, but for the signing on bonus that he's got to want and for the wages that he'd cost, it's a pass for me. I've got to be honest, it is a pass. I would rather see us go out there and spend that money elsewhere on players that will fit our business model. And our business model is get young, up-and-coming players who have shown progress, bring them in, make them better, maybe sell them on the latter part of their careers, reinvest. That's the way the football model works for us, whether we like to believe it or not. That's the truth. Alaba's not better than Van Dijk. No, of course he's not. Don't be silly. Nobody is. Verge is Verge. I don't mean to be rude there, Steve. Sorry, I wasn't saying don't be silly to you. I mean, just in a round conversation, he's the best. Prediction for next Sunday, way too early to say, man. Way too early. We've so many preview shows and that coming up this week. Podcast on Tuesday. Mark Goldbridge coming on from the United Stand to have a chat with me on Thursday. And we'll get loads of predictions. I'll do my full preview as well for the United game during the week. It's weird having such a long time between games, isn't it? Juski said, on that point, Craig, that would explain the sale of Salah pushing his 30s. One of the front three will move on eventually. I don't know which one, I don't know when. But yeah, of course they will. Because it'll be the right time. It'll be the right time for the club. It'll be the right time for the player. And it'll be a deal that worked for everybody involved. We'll reinvest that money into a younger version, let's say, of the player we've looked to move on. And again, I don't know who that may be. I don't know if that will be Mane, Salah or Firmino. All I can give you is my opinion. And my opinion has always been, go back a year ago, it's always been the same. I've always got the vibe that Mo thinks there's another chapter to go in his career. That's just my opinion. He's probably the one we get the most money for as well if we were to look to cash in. But then how do you replace his goals? Because the man is consistently our top goal scorer. Even when he's not having his greatest of seasons, he's still our top goal scorer. Connor said, don't mind me just saying something. Do you need a ambulance, Connor? Do you need a ambulance, buddy? Where am I from? Well, I originated in my father's penis, and then my father and mother made love under a sycamore tree, which makes me the sickest MC. Sorry, I'm just robbing Jay-Z lines there. No, I'm originally from Dublin, mate, but I live in Wexford now. Who do I think will sign? In what position, man? Are we talking like as a forward, as a replacement? I honestly haven't got a clue. I mean, right now I'm just worried about Liverpool's form more than anything else. Most important thing to me now is getting things right for next Sunday and making sure that when we take to that pitch against Manchester United at 4:30 next Sunday, we are raring to go and we're snapping into tackles and we're at it from minute one. Am I confident of the United game? I'm never confident. Even when they were the better side and we caused the odd upset and now we're technically, I suppose, the better side, I'm never confident. I'm never confident going into a game against United because form sometimes goes out the window. So they always make me nervous. No matter how well or bad we're doing, the games against United always make me nervous. So I'm not worried about it, but I'm nervous about it. I don't think we'll lose the game, but is it a must-win game for us at this point? Honestly, don't know. But it's going to be big. It's the biggest game of the season so far, I think, without a shadow of a doubt. Hopefully Bruno will get huge piles in time for Sunday, said Ramadan. Salah's super fit, rarely gets injured, probably thinks he'll go. Oh look, Mo Defo, John, without a doubt, Mohamed Salah has easily 5 years left in his career at the top level. Easily. Probably 6. As you said, players these days, the way they look after themselves, the way they eat, they really are primed. And Salah looks like a player who can play 36, 37 easily. As long as it's not a boring 0-0. Yeah, Robert, I'm with you on that one, mate. I hate boring. I hate the anticlimactic feeling after a massive game when it ends up being a 0-0. If United beats Burnley, it puts the pressure on us. 100%. It's United have the edge technically at the minute. If they go to Turf Moor and pick up the points against Burnley this week, they go top of the Premier League table, and it's up to us then in what will be probably the first 6-pointer of the year for us to go and get it done. But look, let's look at our fixtures that we've done this season. We've already beaten Chelsea away, we've beaten Arsenal at home, and we've drawn with City away, we've drawn with Everton away, we beat Leeds at home, we've beaten, who else have we played and beaten from the tops? We beat Spurs. We did beat Spurs, didn't we? Yes, we beat Spurs. Or have we beaten Spurs? Have we played Spurs this season? My memory's all over the place now. Oh, there's my dog. But yeah, we've had a tough start to the season, and it ain't going to get any easier, unfortunately. But we've played a lot of difficult away games so far. Winsky said, looking forward to a certain somebody on Mundo Sporto soon. Am I missing something here, or... that's completely gone over my head, pal, by the way. Yeah, we beat Spurs. I thought we did, but when you're doing this stuff live, at times you often get a blank. Yeah, 2-1. I remember it now. Yeah, sorry. After the times I just draw a blank when I'm doing these things live. And now that Winksy thing has me confused. Who's this Mundo Sporto person that I'm looking forward to? Sorry, Winksy, my bad, mate. Yeah, Lee Chappie, of course. Tomorrow night, myself, Lee Chappie, Lee Chappie and Joe from All Leeds TV. I'm very much looking forward to that. And Lee Chappie is going to be the second presenter on Mundo Sporto, folks. So for games that I can't cover, Lee Chappie is going to be your man doing the watch-alongs for us on Mundo Sporto. So yeah, keep an eye out. Myself, Lee Chappie are going to be probably the two front faces of Mundo Sporto. So make sure you go over and subscribe to the channel. Connor's put a poll in there at the top over in Streamlabs. Who would you rather sign, Mbappe or Haaland? So click on that link to vote. What else have I got? We've drawn against bottom teams where Liverpool should have won. Yeah, look, our away form, Rob, and again the home draw against West Brom hasn't been great. Nobody can argue. 1 win from 8 away from home is just not good enough. The fact that we're still in the title race with that awful away form speaks volumes for, how well we've ground out the rest of the results and how well our home form has been. But the West Brom game aside, I think that was utter frustration. Hey Craig, do you think Robertson's underrated, not getting the credit he deserves? It's a tough one to answer. I mean, I don't think he's underrated by Reds. I mean, I was actually looking at his stats yesterday, and Robbo's having a pretty good season. So I hope not. I certainly don't undervalue him, and I know our subscribers don't undervalue him. They all absolutely love Robbo. Ladies and gentlemen, we are only about 30 subscribers away from hitting 63k, so if you haven't yet hit that subscribe button, please drop a like on the video, hit subscribe and turn those notifications on as well. I had planned on finishing now, but I can carry on for another 10 or 15 minutes if you guys want. Just give me a thumbs up in the chat. And also, does the camera look a bit clearer today to people? Do I look less blurry than before? Because we've been messing around with a load of settings trying to keep things going. So again, if you want me to carry on in the chat, give me a thumbs up, and also let me know if the camera looks okay as well. Anyone else realise that if City win the next 2 games, they go top? Yes, they're definitely in the race, mate. I know we're just talking about United a lot because we're playing Manchester United soon, but you can't disregard City for sure. Cool, we'll carry on for another few minutes, no worries. Anything you want to talk about, ladies and gents, it's your show. It's always been your show. Whack it into the chat and I'll do my best to answer it. And as always, if I haven't gotten to your question tonight, I sincerely apologise. I try and get through as many of them as I can. We're probably one of the most interactive YouTube shows that there are, so if you feel like I've missed your comment tonight, I promise you I haven't done it on purpose. Camera good, nice. Sweet. Haaland been heavily linked with City of late. He's going to be linked with everyone, man. And look, there's no denying that City will need an Aguero replacement. And if you're looking around right now and you're Manchester City and you're looking around Europe for, you know, up and coming top quality strikers, I mean, surely he'd be at the top of that list. You'd have to imagine so. Let's talk the Ramos rumours. I can sum that up in one word, mate. Bullshit. It's just not happening. Never, ever, 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 ever gonna happen. Never. Never. Not happening. Nope. I hope that answers that debate for you. Sven Botman. The interesting thing about Sven Botman is that from the Liverpool side and the Liverpool friendly media side, it seems to be that Liverpool have had no interest in Botman, and that it was his club maybe or his agent trying to start a bit of a bidding war for him. So from the side that we've been hearing, from the likes of James Pearce and other people I think involved with the Athletic and maybe a few other journalists that I hold in high regard, it seems to be no interest there. Should we forgo the FA Cup and Champions League? Excuse me, let me try that again, Philip, apologies. Should we forgo the FA Cup and Champions League in favour of the Premier League? Well, look, mate, I'm going to be honest with you. If I could pick one trophy right now, I'm taking the Champions League without even blinking. I said it at the start of the season, I'm going to say it again. To me, that's the most important trophy every season. I know people want to join Manchester United on 20 Premier League titles. I absolutely understand that. But I'm old school. I love the European Cup. I'd rather have number 7 than number 20, if I'm being honest with you. Why can't we have them both? You know, there's no reason why we can't fight for both of them. But if you offered me one this season, I'm taking the Champions League. And should we forgo the FA Cup? I don't think you should ever forgo any tournament, mate, that you have an opportunity of winning. We're out of the League Cup. We're still in the FA Cup. Why not? Why not just keep plugging away at everything and see where we end up? Craig, you missed 45 of my comments, not fair. Yeah, but you can just message me on WhatsApp, Carl. That's different, you know what I mean? If I miss your comments on there, man, you can just ring me and go, hey, dickhead, I said something, you missed it. Rob Salmon to the Champions League. I'm Champions League over the league. Wouldn't mind a run in the FA Cup. Yeah, look, Connor would be, for instance, if I said it to Connor would say he wants the Premier League because he wants to go level with United on 20. And how can I argue against that? I'm just giving you my opinion. My opinion is I love the European Cup. Oh, treble. Even a double, Rob. A double would be lovely, wouldn't it? Imagine ending this season after all the shit we've been through, with Van Dijk being injured, with Gomez being injured, with Matip being injured, with having to put Fabinho up centre back, with Thiago being injured. Imagine going through all of that and somehow we end the season with a double. Imagine what we'll be like in May if that's the case. We won't remember any of this. We won't remember these conversations where we're moaning about the form of Mane or Salah or Hendo in midfield or Trent. I thought back to last December, and yeah, it's mad. Like a season, you go through so many emotions, up and down like a wave throughout the season. So the most important thing is where we are come May. That's the most important thing in all of this. Yeah, the dog is okay. He caught his nail in his bed. I recognise that noise. At times he catches his paw, the nail in the bed, and he makes that noise. So yeah, he's okay. Don't worry about it. I think, unless my wife in the chat there. Oh, she is. Sorry about the dog yelp if you heard it. Lucas called me and I fell over the dog. Oh, there you go. It's just my wife being a clumsy git. There you go. I fell over the dog. They are about the same height, to be fair, my wife and the dog. So they're both tiny. Craig, would you rather beat United in Champions League final? Well, we won't be doing that, mate, because they're in the Europa League. Or beat City and United in the title race? Oh, definitely Champions League final. Definitely Champions League final. Dog is fine, but he's a small dog. Didn't see him at the corner of my eye when I turned and fell off. She says that all the time. She's forever falling over the dog, God bless him. But to be fair, the dog is somebody that is always at our heel, or at our, like, he's right beside us all the time when we turn around. And he's getting old as well, God bless him. Gizmo is now, I think, 11, going on 12. You're about to get a divorce, said Callum. Nah, she knows I'm if you've seen the banter that goes on in our house, trust me, if you think what I do on here is bad, the stuff that we all go through in my house, myself, my daughter, my wife and my son, this house is banter central. Connor will tell you that. Prime De Gea or Prime Alisson, two wonderful goalkeepers, mate, either way. I've always admired De Gea as a keeper. I think he had that spell there where he single-handedly was getting United points for a few seasons. But look, they're both wonderful goalkeepers. Let's just leave it at that. Hopefully I can retain my spanner over on Mundo Sporto. Oh, let me just whack you one on here, Winksy. Sorry, man. Again, I'm mate. Let me just add that for you. There's a moderator for you on here, Winksy. I'm somebody that's thick as pig shit, mate. You need to often slap me around the face to let me know who people are. Connor sends me stuff from people, and I'm like, who's this? I'm just so forgetful, Winksy. So you've a spanner on there, pal, and don't worry about it. It's my bad. I should have recognised you sooner, pal. United Central, how are you, buddy? Lovely to see you in again. Mate, I'll always give my honest opinion on this. And like, people often ask me what do I think of Bruno, and how can I say anything other than what an addition he's been to the league and to United? Like, I'm not. Yeah, I'm on a wind up sometimes, but most of the time I'm down to earth. Can I be a mod? Without being rude, I don't know you well enough to make you a mod, mate. And we've got loads now. I think there's a couple, by the way, like Irish Gar and a few others that are next in line, I think, to be fair. Don't worry, Irish Gar. I haven't forgotten about you, mate. I haven't forgotten about you. You're right at the top of the list, mate, for the next in line. Don't worry. And the channel's continually growing, so, you know, as the watch-alongs and stuff get busier, pal, we will need more help, so don't worry about that. He keeps calling me Carl and I'm Kent. That's how forgetful Craig is. Yeah, I know your real name, mate. What else we got? Welcome Winksy, said Joanne. Again, love that. Love that our subscribers are like that. Look, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to wind up tonight's stream. So I will see you guys tomorrow. You're going to get double Craig tomorrow. So we're going to have the Anfield agenda, make no agenda, as always tomorrow. I'll probably start it at about... I'd say we'll be starting at about 8 o'clock tomorrow night. And then over Mundo Sporto, just after 9 o'clock, myself, Lee Chappie and Joe from All Leeds TV are going to be having a chat around the Premier League in general. We're going to be looking at the title race, having a chat around the managers. So make sure to subscribe to Mundo Sporto as well. That is our second channel that we launched in recent weeks. And we're heading towards 6,000 subscribers on that. So amazing. Thank you so much. And again, if you are a Spotify user, which I'm sure 99% of you are, Anfield Agenda's podcast will be launching on Spotify and other platforms this week. So make sure to go over to Spotify and give us a follow. Just search Anfield Agenda on there and you'll find us. And yeah, look, as always, want to end by wishing you all a lovely week ahead. Stay safe, be well, lots of love to each and every one of you. Thank you, Carl, for that super chat there at the end as well. I love sharing these hours or so with you guys. So look, have a good Sunday evening, lots of love, and again, don't forget to check out the Nothing But Reds Agenda show that Kyle and Steve did earlier on today, and massive shout out to those guys as well. I will talk to you soon, folks. Lots of love, up the Reds.